Nepal's air tragedy kills 8 Trichy builders. Amma asked Trichy MP to accompany bereaved families to Kathmandu to identify bodies. Ahead of its nominee list announcement, CPI in final seat sharing talks with ruling party AIADMK. Will the civic polls bring change to the plight of Mogappair residents? Residents hope for better infrastructure and development. Chennai Airport authorities detain a woman in possession of a bullet. The 32-year-old lady is being interrogated. Crores worth of material goes up in flames at a chemical factory in Cholinganallur. No casualties reported. Hello and welcome to NDTV Hindu. You're watching Headlines Now. I'm Natasha Swami, bringing you the latest on the Nepal air tragedy. Now, before we bring you that big story, a look at the national headlines. As the 2G row intensifies, Pranab Mukherjee is in New York to meet the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister says there's nothing unusual about the meeting. Narendra Modi accuses the centre of destabilizing his government through the governor at his Maha rally, the Gujarat Chief Minister's call. A fresh security alert for the Mumbai International Airport after warnings of a 9/11-like incident, the fourth alert this month. Amid signs of strained US-Pak ties, Prime Minister Gilani asked the Foreign Minister to return from the US. And a tigress is lynched to death by a mob of over 4,000 people who later take out a victory procession. On to our top story tonight. In a tragic story from Nepal, 8 people from Tamil Nadu died in a plane crash while visiting Nepal in a 19-member group. The group had actually flown to Delhi first for a business conference. Only one member survived this crash. Among the 10 Indians on board the plane belonging to Buddha Air are 8 victims from the Trichy chapter of Builders Association of India. Besides the 10 Indians on board the aircraft, there were 6 other tourists and 3 crew members. The tourists had gone to view Mount Everest and other peaks and were returning to the Kathmandu airport when it lost contact with ATC. The bereaved families are said to be travelling to the capital, or rather Kathmandu, tomorrow morning with the Trichy MP, Kumar, to identify the bodies, while other reports suggest that the families will be flown to Delhi.
जुन जीवितलाई चाहिँ हामीले पहिले नै निकालेर माथि लगिसकेका थियौं माथि चाहिँ राखिसकेका थियौं अनि त्यहाँबाट चाहिँ स्ट्रेचर मगाएर चाहिँ उ चाहिँ पेटहरु दुखिरहेको खुट्टा भाँचिएको अवस्थामा थियो अनि मुखहरु पनि बिग्रिरहेको थियो गाह्रो भइरहेको भने भएर अनि प्रहरीदारहरुसँग सल्लाह गरेर अब यसलाई चाहिँ उपचारको लागि पठाइदिउँ नकुरौं हाम्रो गाडी भनेर चाहिँ उलाई स्ट्रेचरमै हामीले बोकाएर
मिस्टर मर्दाचलम मीनाक्षी सुन्दरम एके कृष्णन त्यागराजन தனசேகரன் கட்டூர் மகாலிங்கம் கனக சபேசன் அப்புறம் எங்க பிரசிடென்ட் மணிமாறன் கரெக்டான நியூஸ் வந்து இன்னும் கன்ஃபார்ம் பண்ண முடியல அதனால எங்களுக்கு வந்து நாங்க கேக்குறது வந்து இது சீக்கிரமா கன்ஃபார்ம் பண்ணனும் ப்ளஸ் இன் கேஸ் அது மாதிரி எதுவும் ஒரு ஆக்சிடென்ட் ஆயிருந்தது அப்படினா நம்மளுடைய தமிழ்நாடு கவர்மெண்ட் வந்து அதுக்காக உடனே ஆக்ஷன் எடுத்து அங்க இருந்து எங்களுக்கு வந்து இந்த மாதிரி என்னவோ அதுக்கான அரேஞ்ச்மெண்ட்ஸ் எங்களுக்கு பண்ணி கொடுக்கணும் அப்படிங்கிறது.
And the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Jayalalitha, made a statement earlier condoling the bereaved families in this tragic incident. She said, and I quote, "I'm shocked to hear many who died in the Nepal plane crash are from Tamil Nadu. My condolences to all bereaved families," unquote. Also, Jayalalitha had asked the Trichy MP Kumar to accompany the families of victims to Kathmandu for the identification of the bodies. Well, moving on now, the state's Communist Party of India are expected to hold their final round of talks with the AIADMK's local body poll committee today. The left party is also expected to release their final list of candidates after the consultations later this evening. And the party had held an urgent state executive meeting yesterday to discuss their further course of action concerning the local body polls. The party was earlier upset with the AIADMK because of their inflexible attitude during the seat-sharing talks and the AIADMK's decisions to announce its list of candidates without informing or consulting with their alliance partners. Well, with the 2 leading parties going solo for the upcoming civic body polls, the Congress, which the DMK decided to opt out of an alliance with for the polls, will now set up a coordination committee to oversee the municipal elections. The 13-member committee will cover important factions of the state unit of the Congress. The committee comprises Union Minister P. Chidambaram and Environment Minister Jayanthi Natarajan, besides former TNCC Chief K.V. Thangabalu, amongst others. The panel will be led by General Secretary in charge of State Affairs, K.B. Krishnamurthy. Well, the Tamil Nadu State Election Commission has issued instructions to all the returning officers and assistant returning officers to allot symbols. The candidates of registered unrecognized political parties and independent candidates have been asked to mention the names of any 3 free symbols in the order of preference in the nomination form. The returning officers and assistant returning officers should not refuse to receive the nomination if any of the symbols mentioned in the nomination paper by the candidate is not finding place in the list of the free symbols prescribed by the Commission. Even if the name of the symbol is not mentioned in the nomination paper, the returning officer or assistant returning officer is bound to receive the nominations and make scrutiny as per the rules. Well, in news from the city of Chennai, this morning saw a major fire that broke out in a private chemical factory located in Sholinganallur. While the cause of the fire is suspected to be a short circuit, investigations are still on. No casualties are reported as of now from the fire accident. However, the major loss is with regards to material goods in the factory. Damages are pegged to go into crores of rupees. However, further investigation reports are still awaited.
Today being a Sunday, it was not working, and at about 8:30 in the morning we got a call that there was a fire in one of the labs. And with the trained people, of course on a Sunday we have only skeleton staff, but with the firefighting facilities we have, which is a fire hydrant and foam and things like that, they were able to contain that. But one peculiar thing was that there was a lot of smoke. They saw smoke, and typically when there is smoke, visibility is affected, and so they had to go inside only step by step, and that is what took time to contain this whole thing itself. Fortunately, there are no bulk storages of chemicals because it's a research lab, and also being a Sunday, there was no person inside, so people didn't get affected.
In some news that's just coming in from the Chennai airport, a 32-year-old Hyderabad-bound woman was detained at the airport here in Chennai after she was found with a .22 bullet in her possession. According to airport sources, Dawat was detained after officials found the bullet in her purse during checking. According to the sources, she was handed over to the airport police for questioning. Coming up on the other side of this short break, it has been a week since the Himalayan earthquake, and believe it or not, rescue operations are still on. The details on the other side.